Wow, look at that. And I'm live. So, I don't know how well this video is coming forward, so I'm going to double check it with my phone because I'm doing something tragically different right here. So if anybody's watching, I need to let you know that I don't know if you can hear me. It's pretty much impossible. I can definitely look at myself on my phone though, so that's kind of a trip. Hello Mike, how you doing? So today, hello Barev Armen. What's up guys? How you doing? How do you like the new format? I managed to, believe it or not, inherit from somebody at my work who's looking out for me a Surface Pro 4, which was very nice. And I'm using that with a webcam, different settings. Let me know how the audio is. All right, so today we're going to talk about the Oakland A's and the option possibility that they may be moving to Las Vegas after all. So I'm not going to pretend to be an expert in all this, but I will tell you that one of my YouTube viewers did tip me off that this is a possibility to it still happening. I managed to see the article. It was in the Review Journal, and it was also in KTNV, which is Action News, ABC. It wouldn't be interesting if it was not so much action news. So what's happening is that in Oakland, California, there's disarray. I went and looked at this article the other day. I didn't even think it was real. I'm like, should I actually post a video on this? This doesn't make any sense. And then I realized that people might be interested. So from what I understand it, the story goes that, one day there was a team called the Oakland Raiders, and they wanted a new building to play in, and nobody would give them the money, and then they decided to come to Las Vegas. The rest is history. Now, we already have the Oakland A's AAA farm affiliate here in Las Vegas. They're the Las Vegas Aviators, formerly the Las Vegas Area 51s, and they also play in a brand new ballpark. But if the Oakland A's minor league affiliate is already here, it might make sense to move the team here if we could fund a building to get a building in Las Vegas. Now, in Oakland, they went so far as to say, well, no, we're going to sell you the land that the Oakland Alameda Coliseum, I believe it's called, is sitting on. That's where the Raiders and the A's have shared a facility for a long time. You guys can buy the facility, you guys can get your money back on it, and you can build something. So this is what I'm going to read off of to you from this article right here. Possibility after Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred told officials in Oakland and Alameda County to work together with the A's on a new stadium deal or else. According to the SF Chronicle, an Oakland City Councilman says that during a meeting, the commissioner pointed out Bay Area fans would visit Las Vegas to see the Raiders, and unless things changed, they may see the Oakland A's there as well. Ooh, that's pretty serious, right? So Martin says it's a similar issue that brought the Raiders to Las Vegas. None of the people can get on the same page. It's the city of Oakland, the county coliseum, and then the A's themselves, and it just continues to be a mess. Las Vegas could be rewarded again, he said. These are people who are movers and shakers that have lots of money involved in the Oakland A's actually staying in Oakland. Martin says the A's to Las Vegas would make sense, pointing to the success of the Aviators, the AAA affiliate, who are also here in Vegas. They love the Aviators and everything they've done, basically getting over 10,000 fans a night in a beautiful facility. So that relationship has already been set in stone. He also mentions Las Vegas finally becoming a sports town with success of other local teams, namely the Golden Knights and to a lesser extent the Aces. The success of the Golden Knights in the NHL, I predicted his mind. The WNBA, the Aces, the NBA has long talked about coming there. So far, the plan is for the A's to remain in Oakland, but as the stadium issue drags on, it remains to be seen whether a deal can be reached. So the article cuts off there, but I will tell you this. What's happening is that the team wants the city of Oakland to pay them $85 million to finish a business deal, but the city of Oakland doesn't have $85 million to finish a business deal. Now, I'm not hating on the city of Oakland, but I'm wondering what kind of municipal government can't get some bonds generated or get some kind of money to pay off the A's so they can keep the team in town. It's a giant revenue generator, and when you consider that the Golden State Warriors are moving from that area, the 49ers have moved from that area down to further away. The Raiders are gone and everybody else is leaving. Keep the team in Oakland. I mean, honestly, I remember watching Jose Canseco play the Toronto Blue Jays and then play on the Blue Jays. That was kind of weird. As a kid, I remember the A's. Everybody remembers the Oakland A's. Everybody remembers the Raiders with Bo Jackson. And it seems like slowly but surely, the entire city of Oakland is having its entire sports identity torn apart. So are they moving to Vegas? So here's the talky part, right? They could move to Las Vegas. Recently, we saw the Rio Hotel get sold, and that was to an investment group. And heaven knows if they have much plans after the 2-year period, other than to flip the property, and you could put a stadium right there. And you also have, of course, areas on the outskirts of town towards Jean, Nevada, towards Prim, by the M Resort. You could put a baseball stadium in a lot of different places, but a few things have to be in place for that to happen. Um, you have to realize that there's billions of dollars that need to be spent on that kind of a building. It's not clear whether or not the Oakland A's would want to pay for that building. I'm guessing they would not, considering they're at odds over an $80 or $85 million payment with the city of Oakland in order to keep the team there. They might be looking and trying to get to a market that's willing to pay them a tremendous amount to move in. And whether or not the city's going to back that, I can tell you, I wouldn't want to back that. I mean, I'm on the fence about whether or not we should have ever paid the Raiders the money that we did for their stadium, but it will probably bring revenue in. A baseball stadium is not going to bring a lot of revenue in. You don't do anything but play baseball in it. At least in a football stadium, you have a multi-use facility. So I'm not for them paying a bunch of money to get a baseball stadium here. And another thing is to consider the amount of people that you have to put at that stadium. I mean, what do you play at? 182 games a year, I want to say, something like that. You're playing so many games at home in baseball. I'm not a baseball expert. I have friends who are, but I'm not. You're playing so many home games. And if you built a 50,000 seat facility and you did some simple math, you would see that what you would have to do to go to capacity for that stadium every night would be absolutely monstrous numbers. Let's just run the numbers right now. Let's say you have 50,000 people. That's 50,000 people, right? And you played, I don't even know how many games they play in Major League Baseball. How many games in MLB season? Of course, I should know this. They play 162 games. So they're going to play exactly 81 games at home. So 81 games, and that's 4,050,000 people if you were looking to actually fill that that facility, and that's just not going to happen. So the reasons it could happen, though, is because local population aside, people actually caring enough to go to the games. First of all, Major League Baseball games are a lot more affordable than any other major sport because they only play so many games in hockey, less games, so many games in basketball, less games in football, and more games in football, but less than hockey and basketball, and the MLS. Now, if Vegas is going to get a new MLS team, and then we have the Raiders, then we have the Golden Knights, and then we have a Major League Baseball team, you got to start to think, yes, 45 million people a year come to Las Vegas, but of those 45 million people, how many people are actually going to be interested in those sports? Now, I made a video about the MLS coming here, and I touched upon maybe people from the UK or from Mexico, South America, wanting to see those games. Baseball is a little bit of a different beast. You have people from all over the world that play baseball. Baseball is huge all over. It's big in Asia. Japan has a humongous professional baseball league that runs. They play it in South Korea. Of course, Canada plays it. They play it all over in the Southern Pacific. They play it in the Caribbean. So it has a bigger audience. But still, 4 million people. That would be if you could fill that stadium to capacity. And no Major League Baseball team is looking to do that. It's just not possible. But you have to make sure that you have the fan base and the population. Would the Oakland A's do as well here as the Raiders? Probably not. And I'm saying that from experience. Not to say that I don't know people from Oakland, but you, before the Raiders came here, would see at least Raiders license plates, bumper stickers, people wearing Raiders hats just walking around the city who lived out here. The A's, not so much. Baseball is a funny thing like that. You have your teams like, you have your Red Sox and your Yankees. You have your Blue Jays for the Canadians. You even have the old school Expos fans up there. But you don't have the massive amount of rabid kind of brand loyalty for every team like you seem to have in smaller sports like hockey and football. They always have their ravenous fans. So it could happen. I mean, it could be something that works, but you have to find the land for it. You have to find the facilities for it. You have to find the market for it, and that's the most important thing. And if Vegas can't find a market for something, it's not interested in bringing it here and experimenting with it, especially not when you're talking billions of dollars of money at stake like this. Now, I have a lot of comments going on right now, and I am looking at it in a brand new sense because I have this control panel down here, and I don't really know what I'm doing. So let's just take a look here. So we got a lot of different comments. By the way, thank you everybody who's been here. and commenting and stuff like that. 81 games. Yeah, if the average team gets 31, yep, that's exactly right. Jose Canseco just bought a car wash. Yes, I heard that, Brian. That's pretty hilarious. 45,000 seats on the strip between Stratosphere and Old Las Vegas. Thomas D, that may not work. Thomas is talking about putting an arena there, or a stadium there. They're already trying to push for the all-net arena and resort, which would bring a 23,000 seat venue to the area. But the biggest thing about putting a 45,000 seat venue there is, number one, it would be one of the smaller ballparks for big venues type cities like New York City, LA. Vegas would be smaller. Number two, there's not enough transportation in and out of there. It just wouldn't make any sense. You have the Strip, Industrial Road, and the interstate, and it would be impossible to do. But hey, we don't care about parking in Vegas, according to anybody else on Raiders stuff. Many of the Vegas residents are coming from the Bay and South Bay. That is true, but I see way more San Francisco Giants hats than anything. Scott makes a joke and says, just start a resort fee. Mr. Groman says, I have a choice between casino, strip clubs, or watching a sports team. I'm going to go to the casino or the strip club. There you go. You would definitely need okay, Raiders fans are more in California. They should move to Los Angeles. Yep, so we got a bunch of comments here. Hi, everybody. I appreciate you guys watching. I just thought I would sound off on about this because I had a subscriber send it to me, and it looked very interesting to me. But I think there is a possibility of it really working out here. But it would take a lot of effort to build a base of good fans that are willing to go to these games, that are willing to spend $10 a game for 81 games for a sub $1,000 season ticket type deal. And it would require a lot of marketing and a lot of stepping out into the community, which I don't know that Vegas is set up for right now. At only 2 million residents, it's really the 45 million that they'd be catering to. And we already have a ton of people coming out here from New York. Are they going to spend time watching a game? I don't know. See, and that's another thing too. You have to consider it this way. When it comes to, say, football, and let's say you're a Denver Broncos fan. So if you don't know football, that's okay. I don't know it as well as a lot of people. But the Raiders play in the AFC, okay, the AFC conference. And so that means that they are going to play some teams all the time. So if you're going to play Denver, Colorado, the Broncos all the time, it's easy for those fans to travel once or twice a year to go see a game. And if the one time they come into Vegas is for Vegas, that's a big event because they only play 16 times a year. Actually, it's not even, yeah, they play 16 games a year. So for that to happen, it's easy for them to kind of have their fan base move around. But then you're talking baseball teams, and baseball teams play, 162 games in a season. And there's a lot of people that are not going to take note of specific games. If the Oakland Athletics are now the Las Vegas Athletics, they're not going to care about smaller market teams. They're just going to care a whole bunch when the Yankees or the Dodgers or the Giants are in town. And embarrassingly enough, I can't even tell you what division, whether it's the National League or the American League. That they play in the American League, right? I'm guessing that's what that is. So you'll have the people that come, but how many of them are going to travel just to Vegas to see a game, knowing that they play 62 games at home every year? You might not go to Vegas to see a game, to follow your team. It just may not be that amount of loyalty. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But then again, the drive of money and the love of money, that's really what it is, right? So let's see here. Scott M., I actually believed in the Golden Knights to be a success in Vegas, and that was only because living out here for so long and knowing so many people who are transplanted from other places, I had a very good suspicion that that was going to be a lock for a really good team move. But I'm not saying I was right. It erupted a lot more, and there's a lot of things that happened in there. Let's see. Ooh, I got a lot of comments. How did I get 63 of you nice yahoos who are cool enough to talk with me in here? Because that's too much entertainment here. Yep, that's what I was saying. MLB has issues in getting young people to the game. Interest is just not there. Young people, that's a challenge. So Max makes a good point. Young people. We do have an abundance of young people in Las Vegas. And if you were able to try to cater to people in that market, you would be really good at getting some eyes and ears on the team while you're here. One thing that MLB has been great at is their videos and their social media. As a matter of fact, the National Hockey League hired Major League Baseball's people to do all of their social media stuff just a few years ago. So they are trying. That's a good point. Broncos v. Raiders, a lot of history with both fan bases will come. But my point is this: the Broncos fans only have to pay attention to 16 games a year. When you are paying attention to 62 games, you're the most diehard, or 62 games, 162 games. You're the most diehard fan in the world, or what? So it's tough, right? It's easy to come to Vegas for one game. It's less tempting to come to Vegas when you're going to play 161 other games. A's are the American League. Yes, I knew that because they play the Jays. Thank you, Brian. Las Vegas Padres. Yeah, they have a nice Petco Park down there. Hate to see whether or not they get an NBA team. You know it's coming. Yes, a major NBA team sooner or later. They should build a stadium elsewhere in Vegas instead of demolishing it. Yes, everybody's here. So thank you, guys. So do you have any questions for me directly? It's getting more and more complicated to answer these questions when I have a live stream. But we could talk about the business of baseball for a little bit. I'll spend another 15 minutes or so on the live stream answering any questions you guys have about the business aspect of all of this if you want to. So Susie says that it's not a big enough venue or market. And Susie, I would agree with you. However, there's 45 million people that come here from around the world, which is, I think, why all these sports leagues are entertaining the idea of coming here. So that's very interesting. Pine Tree says it's hard to make MLB entertaining for young people. You know, it is hard. I'm sure that they have something down the pike that they could do, making the game faster and snappier. For the record, hockey had to do this, the goals and the games, and it was just not a low-scoring affair, and they changed the rules over and over every few years until it was. Just Me the Cat says, thanks. Thank you. He says, love the videos. But it is family friendly, and Scott argues that's what people want. That's true, too. Clippers in Vegas would be interesting. Yeah, I don't know if that would play that well. I mean, the Clippers in Vegas would be interesting. Oh, yeah, I missed my friend Travis because I had a dinner I had to go out to. I was there at 7 until about 8 because it was with a client for my web stuff. Hey, Travis, I'm sorry I missed you, man. I completely tried to get away from that. And then tomorrow I get to go to a Golden Knights game with my company who wants to talk about something business-wise too. So there is that. Thank you for the tip out, Travis. You're the man. Tampa Bay could move, that's for sure. The Tampa Bay Rays are not a great team in terms of attendance. And then you also have the Miami Marlins, who are not a great team in terms of attendance. But see, there's this problem with having a small market team try to compete with the big markets. Because as you guys might not know, all sports except for Major League Baseball have a salary cap, meaning that they say, okay, let's say you're the hockey, you're Vegas Golden Knights, playing against the LA Kings. You know both teams can spend about $85 million a year on players. But in baseball, you don't have that. That's why the Yankees can sign away all the best talent because they're the biggest market with the most TV and the most merchandising, and they can spend the most. So then you get down to smaller markets having to play quote-unquote Moneyball, if you remember the movie with Brad Pitt from years ago, which is where they try to get into the stats and make a team and win the thing without just buying the talent. And it's an interesting game that they play. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win if you're a big team spending a lot of money, but it doesn't mean that you can outsmart the big team spending a lot of money too. And where would Vegas file into that? It's all about how much money they're willing to spend on things. And they will spend big at first. That's what all billionaires do when they buy teams. They spend huge to win. And after they win, they take their ring and then they don't spend as much. Do you think an expansion team is a better option opposing to moving a team? I think it's a big celebration of a new team would be better for Vegas fan base. Yeah, golf makes a good point. That would be nice, but I don't know if they're willing to expand Major League Baseball. That's a whole bigger involved process than moving a team from one location as close as California to the other. So we could see how they wanted to do with that. Englewood's taking the Clippers. Englewood will be up to no good with the Clippers. MLB expansion or relocation. I think we're talking about relocation in this case. NBA needs an even number of teams. That's debatable. If the NBA would work in Vegas, I'm scared of that one, quite frankly. It didn't pan out well when they played here briefly in 2007. It was just a disaster that day. I remember that day. Clippers should go to Vegas. LA is for my Lakers. But you know why they're called the Lakers, right, Reef K? Anybody want to tell Reef K why they're called the Lakers? Because most Lakers fans don't know that. By the way, nice to see you again, Reef K. I'm glad you're back in my streams. The NIM Angels, for example, are threatening to leave, but the MLB rules for an Angel stipulate that they'll only be allowed to move to Ventura. Yes, because I want to keep that in one market where there's so much put into it. That's a large market team. It's very hard to move a large market team. If minor league brings in 10K, why not major league? Because, Scott, they play a lot less games and we're going to 3 times the population. And also there's this curiosity factor for the new stadium. And it's not necessarily a long-term thing where they're getting 10K, because that happens in some things. So, well, hopefully it does continue on. Let me see what I got for comments. Theo Epstein, Vegas owners have deep pockets. But who would the owners be, Scott? That's the question. Would it be the Oakland owners moving to Vegas? And do they still have deep pockets? I don't know. The business of baseball. You guys are the baseball experts. Long Beach came up with a plan. It's like $1 billion to make a stadium for the Angels. That would be interesting. Long Beach deserves it. I mean it. Bring the monorail extension to the ballparks. The monorail's broke. They can't pay their bills. So I don't think that's happening. Buying World Series. Minneapolis. Mikey got it. They were the Minneapolis Lakers because Minnesota's the Land of Lakes. And that's what? LA Lakers. What about the LA Oceans? That would mean LA Ocean sounds like I'm saying Laotian. That's not what I'm saying. Man of many lakes. Question: how construction going on the Raiders Stadium? No, the Raiders Stadium's on time. It's going to open next year. They have to open next year. They have no choice. They're playing football there, whether they like it enough. Bring the monorail down from Sahara. Just a side note, guys, I was by the convention center and I saw the Elon Musk tubes right outside the convention center the other day. It was pretty cool. I was in traffic, so I couldn't get a video of it. Lakers come from Minneapolis. That's cool. I'm glad you guys like that stuff. Yeah, the big buy from Vegas. I'm not sure what that is. So you guys are awesome. Yeah, thank you for watching my rant about whether or not baseball could happen. I don't know if this was successful or not. I do know that it was nice talking with you guys. Do I gamble, Caesar asks. I don't gamble. But, do you gamble while you're here? That's the question I have for you. But no, I don't gamble a whole lot. So the Raiders are betting on Vegas tourists being a big part of their fan base. I don't think it's the. I think they're betting on people coming on like an 8-game mini convention type schedule. So every year people come out for this game. Every year people come out for that game. Just like every year people come out for SEMA, or every year people come out for CES. And I think it's a pretty good bet that could happen. All they have to do is promote this and cross promote it with Allegiant Airlines and get people to the destinations. Everything they do is very strategic. So let's see here. Montreal won't get a baseball team. Canada has a poor dollar, and the NHL is interested in their team north of the border. Yeah, Coded and United is probably right. The only way that Canada is getting a team put in Quebec is if the Ottawa Senators move there, which will probably never happen. And the market is small and the dollar is poor. And what you guys don't know about this is that a Canadian team in Major League Baseball or hockey or MLS has to do their business. And they have to earn their money in Canadian dollars, and then they have to pay their salaries in American dollars. So if they have a guy on contract for $1 million US, they're actually earning 1,300,000 Canadian dollars in order to actually pay him $1 million US. So it's very unparity, and it's hard for them to compete that way. Dodgers came from Brooklyn. I'm a Dodger fan too. Cool, Reef. Corey K says, do you think the owners put in their hands in the pot? I think the casino owners have a lot to say about everything. And Pine Tree's moderate gambling spends $1,000. Damn, I could use some of that $1,000. Hit me up and we'll go gambling together. A's need to stay in the Bay Area because Vegas doesn't need any more stress to build a new stadium. But it would keep the economy flowing here for a while, Jay, so I'd like to see that happen. The Raiders are going to have no home field advantage with all the fans from the other teams. That could happen, Larry. It's kind of like when the LA Chargers now play in LA and they're playing the StubHub Center, and I watch every game that they play against the Denver Broncos, and it's just a sea of orange, and they're cheering for the Broncos more. Nobody wants that to happen. That was a big thing people were afraid would happen with the Golden Knights, and it hasn't happened, and we're very proud of that. So that is a very interesting one right there. I'm really happy that I got my new streaming software running for you guys. That's pretty great. MLS might be ready for Vegas realistically. It depends. There's a Twitter that I follow called Empty Seats, and they show all the different seats from different sports. MLS is looking awfully empty, but so is Major League Baseball, and so is football in a lot of cases. They always announce the numbers, but the numbers never look like what's actually in the crowds. Question: Steve, have you ever heard of Sixt for car rentals? Someone recommended it on an MGM site. Seems like good prices. SIXT, I've not heard of it. I know there's some really small fly-by-nights. If you guys are going to go by them, I recommend highly that you have good roadside assistance services because some of those guys won't provide it if you break down. And you should also have an insurance policy that covers their cars because if their cars have bad insurance, you might pay for that. So is it true that some casinos pay more than others? Caesar, it's true that they pay out more than others. It depends on the slots you're playing. It depends on the amount you're betting. It depends on the location you're in. There's a lot of things that it depends on. I guess I could try a video about that. The Raiders are a transplanted team. The Golden Knights are in original Vegas, so it's not the same. I agree, Mike. It's definitely not the same. And the Golden Knights kind of congealed around the whole incident that happened on October 1st of that year when they started too. Seeing more and more Raider gear and license plates, judging on how well they played and are playing, I wouldn't bet on that being lopsided against the Raiders. Scott, I will tell you right now, the Raiders are playing above their heads. They're playing with passion and pride for the city of Oakland because they know they're leaving. They won that game yesterday. Everybody is very surprised. And I hope they continue to play above their heads. I hope they do it because I'd like to see them be successful, especially after the Antonio Brown affair. But I don't know how long can keep up. The sports books always seem to know what's up, and I don't know if the Raiders can keep it up. I hope they can because it would be a really cool Cinderella story to see a team that went through the Antonio Brown saga come out on the end and be a playoff contender. That'd be great. Vegas loves a winner. Sandra says hello. Going to watch my team play in Vegas is just another reason. Going to Vegas, very nice. No tailgating. Looks like there's no tailgating allowed, guys. That's just what they're going to do. They're going to make it so you have to drive in and out, plus family-friendly stuff on the grounds. Is the strip dead in the daytime during SEMA? I'm bringing family with me. Galati, not so much. It's, I mean, there's people here. A lot of them aren't at SEMA all day long. Depending on where you are on the strip, you'll have a good time with your family. That's the first or second week of November, as far as I understand. How are the Vegas Aces doing with attendance? They're pulling 10,000 a game and selling out that stadium all the time. They're doing quite good. Hate to jump to the future, but you think about the Olympics coming to Vegas. I don't think Vegas will ever host an Olympics. It wouldn't make any sense. The only thing they could do is host a joint bid with, say, somewhere in California and maybe Northern Nevada. And the joint bid would involve maybe some stuff on Mount Charleston, maybe some indoor facilities because we have ice hockey and stuff like that out here now. But summer doesn't make any sense, and you just lose money. You lose so much money. My hometown in Calgary had the 1988 Winter Olympics, and they were offered the ability to put a bid together for like the 2030 Olympics, and they turned it down this time because you lose so much money. It used to be that you would use the Olympics as a stepping stone to get your city's image out there because back before the internet, I couldn't go to Google and type in, show me photos of wherever. But now you can just do that. So you used to have a global scale. Look, it's a global presentation. Everybody can see the city. It's on every major news channel, every TV channel, but they don't need to do that anymore. So they lose a lot of money off those. Can you do regular strip walks or off the strip? Hey, Thomas, I try to do strip walks a lot when I can, but I work a full-time job, so I'll try to pick it up for you, buddy. I appreciate it. Hell no to the Olympics. How long until Vegas hosts an NHL All-Star game or Super Bowl? So the Super Bowl will probably be 2023 because you have to be in your stadium for 2 or 3 years before that happens. I would count on Las Vegas hosting an outdoor game before they host an All-Star game. So I can imagine seeing the Sharks and the Golden Knights playing at the Allegiant Stadium to 75,000 fans after they put in some more seats. That would be pretty good. It's not the Stampeders game without tailgating. Ditch is mentioning the Calgary Stampeders. That's pretty funny. When do they live? Oh my God, there's so many guys. I can't keep up. When did they lift restrictions on betting teams? For years, LV couldn't get a major league sport. It was more college football. You couldn't bet on college sports or if a casino had a direct ownership in a team. So a few years ago, when a friend of mine was he was a sportsbook manager at Flamingo. When the Boston Celtics got in, they didn't take any bets on any of those games because it turns out the Caesars had a stake in the company. So just bought a vacation home in Summerlin last month. Cool on you, man. Good work. Olympics in Vegas. I'd like to see the Baker come to Vegas. I've seen other Vegas YouTubers do strip live walks, and the quality was horrible. Yes, that's one of the things I try not to do. I'm doing this new setup with a new camera today. I'm trying my best to show you guys that I can do better quality. Let me show you actually what I get to see right now. So you guys can actually see that on camera right here. So I literally just have my camera set up right here, and there's a horrible delay. I can't see if it's live. You can see like there. But yeah, the quality is often bad. So yeah, so Vegas get the 2025. Well, we'll see if it's already padded out till 2024. I'm sure 2025 makes sense. See, check out the Switch Pod for your vlogging. The initial rollout is happening. Way better than Gorilla Pod. Check it out in your spare time. Is it a? I'll check it out, Adams. I'll try to remember. There you go. Did you end up getting free room with your win? Nope, I got nothing. Caesar, I got nothing. All the Super Bowl cities have been. Yep. So I guess you're right. However, did they approve Los Angeles for the Super Bowl in there? Because if they haven't, then they might be first. I thought the A's were already going to build a new stadium. Yeah, Roy's World. As I explained at the beginning of this, there's a bit of a break between the city of Oakland paying the A's money that they don't have, so they're threatening to move all over again. Yeah, kid, the streaming quality be better, like I just showed you on the photo right here. I got it set up on a very nice Logitech webcam. Should be better audio, should be super bright and sharp. This is how you guys do it when you want to really roll out the carpet for all your subscribers. Guys, guess what? It's been half an hour. I got to go do regular life stuff. I want you to know that if you want to support me, you can always hit me up in the comments of these videos. I have ways to support me. I have a Patreon page. When that gets big enough, I'm going to do subscriber only for Patreon too, as well as these regular ones. And I'll try to get to more stuff. So while you're out there tonight, do me a favor, share this if you have a baseball fan or something like that. I'm not a baseball expert, but I try to lend my 2 cents on the business side of things in there. So share this with somebody you might know. I've had a really long night. I'm exhausted as heck, but I still have to go and do website stuff. And yeah, we'll definitely talk to you guys in another one. Thanks so much for watching. Be good out there. Bye-bye.